Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy and the flip through of my newest journal that I'm calling Dear Diary. I made this as a challenge to myself. Surely I thought I could make a journal in a day since so many other people can. And I failed. It took me 3 days, but that's still a lot less than my normal 2 to 3 weeks at minimum on a journal. So I am calling it Dear Diary. This is a small one, at least small compared to what I normally make. This measures 6.5 inches by 5 inches by 1.25 inches. It has 196 pages inside. And I made it using a kit that I created digitally. And this is the prototype kit. It's not going to be available in my Etsy shop yet, just because it still needs a little work, I discovered as I was going through this and fixing all the boo-boos. So the closure is a wraparound with this lace seam binding that has this key tied on the end of it. And it is fastened to the back of the journal. I have this lace covering the spine. The book cover is 4 layers. It is a layer of cardstock, a layer of tea-dyed paper, a layer of cardboard, and another layer of paper on the inside. And I have stenciled and stamped on top of the cover. Here I have used a lock and key set. These are Tim Holtz. This is actually a hole. I made a hole through the keyhole so that you could peek through if you wanted. Here is the back. It's a fairly simple cover. I did put some work into it, but it's a fairly simple look. This right here, we will see what it's holding on the back page, but it is a bulldog clip, again from Tim Holtz. And I took a brad and I punched through 4 layers of lace bits and pieces and just attached it on the back, and I snipped off the long ends of the brad because they hung over. And it just clips right on the front. It gives a little bit of extra interest to the front of the journal, along with holding in the piece that's just inside the cover. So let's get into it, shall we? Again, I'm calling this Dear Diary, and it will be in my shop when this video loads. It is 2 signatures, again 196 pages. Here's the other side of the bulldog clip, and this is an envelope that I stenciled and collaged on. There are a lot of quotes about writing and motivation, and I used this. This is an old vintage sheet that I'm still using bits and pieces of, and I just love it. And inside this envelope, and I have some reverse stencil stamping on the back. Inside this envelope are a bunch of quote pieces and butterflies and blank labels. And let's see, what else did I put in there? There may be some other goodies and things in there that I can't remember. And that's going to be right inside the cover. I forgot to put the pen in there. I do have a pen that goes with this one into this pocket right at the beginning. And inside the pocket, I have my business information, all the ways that you can contact me. I have a little collage here that helped to cover up the brads on the back that are holding this plate in place. They look like little screw heads on the front. This is a part of my digital kit, Dear Diary, and as soon as I get the bugs worked out, I will list that in my Etsy shop because I did have a lot of fun working with it. And this is the first page. The base of each of the pages in this kit is a tea dyed or onion skin dyed or avocado dyed or coffee dyed, all different kinds of papers that I have scanned in and made digital images of. This kit for just the background papers is called Aged Stationery, and it is available in my Etsy shop right now. I took a bunch of public domain images to do this that I got from the New York Public Library, the public domain images. So everything is good to go, no copyright violations. I have edged this page with some lace that was originally pink or white. It just happens to be sitting right here. And I just took my Tim Holtz Distress inks and I used Tattered Rose on this one. And I just inked it up with the makeup brush, and it looks perfectly matched to that page. When I printed these pages, I printed highest quality and I printed double-sided, and it gave each of the pages this really soft feel. I love the way that it feels under my fingers. There's lots of room for writing. The pages have lines. All of them have lines on them. Some of them are more subtle than others. Here is some stenciling. Here I have collaged on this handmade paper and stamped with the butterfly, the fabric, a quote. And then I covered the back of it to strengthen that collage on the other side with one of the cutouts that will be in the kit, the fussy cuts. I had a lot of fun making this. I will tell you it was a little frustrating at points though, because I just could not get things to go the way I wanted them to. I have this little envelope here. I have a lot of these Tim Holtz mini clips in here and a lot of punched out butterflies. And there is a little card in here for journaling. And it just clips right over this paper. This paper is not a dyed paper. It is one that I purchased in a pack, but I really like the way it looked with the kit. And I didn't want every single page to be a kit page, although most of them are. Here we have another little clip from Tim Holtz. It's holding on this postcard. And the postcards that are in the kit, I have them backed up, hopefully when I get it finished and, like I said, get the kinks out of it. They are backed up one to another so that when you print them, you can simply fold it over and you've got a nice postcard. These are my own postcards that I own. They are vintage or antique. I believe this one was from 1909, but I put a faux stamp over that because there wasn't a stamp on it. But I did not glue this all the way closed though. I created a pocket, and inside that pocket I put a stenciled journaling spot with a butterfly punch out that says happiness out of a book page. And this is one of my avocado dyed mini papers. And I put that in the pocket as well. And I am just holding that on with this little mini bulldog clip. This is vintage. I cannot remember where I bought it from, but I can look and tell you it's really, really, really old. And it is a manicure kit. Don't use this. It's just to look at. My theme with making this journal, since it was called Dear Diary, I kind of put some things in it that a young lady might just put into their journal. Invitations, postcards, birthday cards, different little things that they like that just caught their fancy. And so you'll see an assortment of things, but they do all fit into that theme of a Dear Diary type situation. This page I stenciled and then I turned the stencil over, sprayed it and misted it, and then pressed it on here. And so I've got the stenciled and stamped from the same stencil. Here is one of those cards I'm talking about that somebody might just keep in their journal. And on this one I've done the same thing, just different colors. I have stenciled and then turned it over and stamped with it. And this is a little ruffle with a butterfly and some tissue paper and book page. And on the back there's a piece of lace. I love this yarn. I have used this yarn. Uh-oh, where'd that come from? I'll have to find out where it came from. And I just really like this yarn, and I got it at Dollar Tree. And I've used it a lot here lately. Here's another pocket. I have fussy cut out one of the doilies that I'm including in the kit, and then put journaling space on the back from a circle punch that I took out of the stencil. Tucks right in there. And then this is a coffee dyed Rolodex card that was given to me by Emily at Emmephemera's Treasures. I will link her YouTube below. Here's the center of the signature, and on each of the 2 signatures I have, let me get a close-up here. I have a little key and a lock on each of the 2 signatures, because that just reminds me of a diary. On this paper clip, I have this lace bow with a pearl and a ribbon. This is from the wedding section at Hobby Lobby, and I have a bunch of them, and I tea-dyed them all at once. This, you can untie it or you can slide it off because it's not tightly tied. And it's an old piece of music from a teacher's book, and it unfolds to have all this journaling space. And it just tucks right up under this paper clip. And that is vintage. I can't remember the age of the book it is from, but I can look it up if you wish. Here I've created a pocket with some book page and one of the fussy cut images and another butterfly that I cut out. Another of the images from the kit with some writing paper on the back. This page I have simply edged with some lace. And I had this piece left over from a different project. This is a copper foiled doily and then a coffee dyed paper doily on the top of it. Here is the other side of that paper that is stamped and stenciled. And another one of the postcard pockets, I guess I can call them. And this one is from August 5th. And this is so small I can't read it. I made it miniature so that it would fit in this small journal because I wanted to keep it diary sized. Diaries tend to be a little smaller in size than a journal. And I don't know why that is. And then these I bought, these are vintage, and I bought these from Emily at Emmephemera's Treasures as well. And like I said, little tickets, little receipts, little bits and bobs. This is a top tuck. This is one of the fussy cuts that I'm working on in the kit with some fancy hand lettering and then writing space on the back. I know when I was young, I liked to play with lettering and just making beautiful things. Here is an old vintage message sheet. I do not remember where I got this from. I will see if I can look it up. And I decoupaged a napkin on there that has a rose, and then I have some washi here that lets it flip over on both sides. This is the other side of that pink paper, and a collage that creates a little pocket for this journaling space that is stenciled on both sides. This is one of the images that can also be fussy cut out. I have a washi tape collage here. Oops, and I have a little piece of excess paper that is glued on right there that I will take off after I get done with the video. I created this tag just by using some of the scrap paper from punching out a butterfly. I put an eyelet in there, hooked it onto a bulb pin, and put it through this eyelet that is at the top of the page. All of the pages are torn edges. I kind of like that look. I know that when I had diaries younger, my pages did not stay pristine. They got dirty, they got ripped, they had tears on them, different things that happened to them. This is a side pocket that I created with 3 of the fussy cut cards and one of the 2 music sheets that are in there. And there's journaling space on the back. Mulberry paper. No, this is handmade paper, not mulberry. This is a project I created in conjunction with another group that I am in as a challenge. and I really, really liked it, and I just made it fit to go with this journal. And I will link the original video that I was sent to from that group for the instructions on this. And she made it from a full 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I wanted it to fit in this journal, so I made it smaller. And it is a 3-pocket floating pocket, I guess. And so there's one pocket, and here is a journaling card on the inside. And this butterfly's wings lift up so that they go over the edge of the pocket. Here's another journaling card with a butterfly on it that fits in that second pocket. And then the third pocket, that is the center, holds this tag. And then on the back, I have simply added some sheet music paper and wrapped it around the front. And I think it turned out very beautiful. I like it. And it's being held on with this Tim Holtz bulldog clip right here. On the other side of the bulldog clip is a card that I altered, a playing card, with a quote on the back, and then a fortune, like from the Zoltar, if you remember the movie Big, those kind of machines. And it said, the Ace of Hearts means watch your etiquette. And so I didn't tie it, I used a tiny attacher from Tim Holtz to fasten it to the card. And then I've got it held in with the other side of that bulldog clip. I have some lace here. Each of these pages has collages already on it. And so I am working to figure out if I need to let go of some of the collages or if I need to redo them, because some of them just didn't print out so well. Still made a beautiful book. And that is the end of the first signature. Second signature has this pocket on the front that has 2 journaling spots in it. One is just a scrap of paper that has the stenciling, the reverse stenciling, and this amaryllis card that I did the same thing as I did with the Ace of Hearts. It says the Jack of Hearts means fun. And so I used my tiny attacher to fasten that to the card and just tucked it right into that pocket. Added eyelet to this page, and I used my distress inks on it as well. This eyelet I didn't, I just left it white. I don't know why, but it still works. Here's another of my floating postcards. Floating postcard pockets, whatever you want to call it. And inside I have this journaling tag. All of these postcards I have made from postcards that I own. This is from 1913. The original card is anyway. And I have added a little butterfly that coordinates with the tag there. And then I have a vocabulary card, evanescent. And the evanescent spirit of youth is delightful to observe. And on the back, I have put another quote with some washi. Once again, things that somebody might just keep in a diary. This tiny paper clip, mini clip, I'm not even sure what the actual name is a page topper. And it has a quote on it with some lace and one of the fussy cuts and a piece of paper where I've cut the butterfly through. It is lined with packing paper. And then on the inside, when you open it up, there's journaling space. And there's also a pocket where I've tucked in 2 little tags. Now these are from Tim Holtz tags. But I went ahead and I even made this one look like it was used. I put 3 punches through it so that it looked like 3 of the days were used. And that can go either way on the page, because it is reversible and it behaves well with the background page. I like when things work together. I could be Hannibal. I love it when a plan comes together. This tab is created by the book or the belly band that I put on the back side. And all I did was I cut my strip of paper longer than the page. I wrapped it up snug against the bottom, and then the top I left about 1/2 of an inch before I folded it, and that creates a top tab. And in it, I have this page that I took out of another book, and it just has a list of books that were written by the author of that other book. And I could see that being something that I would have kept as a young girl because I loved to read. I still do. And it has writing space on the back if you wish. Here's another collage that I've got silk, and then these are all parts of the kit that I'm working on, and it's on this handmade paper that has the onion skin. And again, these are the same. Here I have another vocabulary card being held on by that tiny bulldog clip, and one of my book page butterflies. And I can't remember if this clip is holding something on the other side, so I'm going to put that back. Yes, it is. And there's a journaling card on the back side of this one with some stenciling on the back. Quote on the front. These quotes, there are a lot of quotes in this pocket that I added, and there are a lot of quotes that I've put into the actual journal. This is one of the fussy cuts with journaling space on the back. Even with all this collage, there's a lot of room to write. And it tucks right into that collage that I've made with the fussy cuts from the kit and a piece of ribbon. This is a hidden paper clip. Hidden paper clip. I have a bulb pin on the top with that yarn that I like so much. It is backed with music paper. This is vintage music paper and some of the images from the kit. And it just slides right over the top of this pink page. The page looks plain, but there is some inking around the edges. Like I said, my journal would not be neat and clean. And so not everything in here is neat and clean. Got some stenciling there. Here I've got some lace, and it creates a tab up here at this corner where I have hung a few charms. This is part of a broken necklace. This says handmade with love, and another little lock heart shape. This is a journaling card that I made. This is chamomile tea, and there's some collage down here at the bottom, and then journaling space on the back. I got this set of cards on Wish, and I have no idea how to even share a link for them. So if I can figure it out, I will share with you, but if I can't, then I won't. I have two of the butterflies whose wings pop up here. Here is the other set of the key and the lock. I think this is one of my favorite pages out of the kit, is these butterflies on the scattered papers. I have some collage here on this paper, on these two pages with some paper napkin. No, with some napkin, some music paper, and some lace right up there at the top. Here I have created a pocket by taking one of the large fussy cut images that's going to be in the kit and just wrapping it around after folding it in half. And I made a couple of journaling cards after stenciling. Let's see, first I put this paper down, and then I stenciled over the whole thing, and then I added the journaling cards to the pockets on each side. Here's another little collage with the silk and a quote. This part is printed, but it looks like the whole thing is a collage. And I've edged this paper with some little pom-pom trim that I think was really cute. Picks up on all the pink. Here is one of the misprinted pages that I have to figure out what happened. So I've got a pop-up butterfly on top of a book page butterfly, and then one of my vintage stamps, because the stamp didn't print correctly, nor did the butterfly that's under there. And I want to make sure it's going to print correctly before I put it in the shop. Here's another collaged pocket. Here are two of the fussy cuts, little scroll looking papers. I don't know. There we go. That's probably better. And I just tuck them in with this quote that's on the front, along with that vintage sheet and some onion dyed paper that I have. A little bit of collage on the back with that napkin. that tissue. It's not napkin. I like how on some of them you can't tell where the printed collage begins and the actual collage is. Like this one. This just all looks collaged, but only this part is collaged. And then I have one of the tickets, I think. This one. This is from the Tim Holtz set of tickets. This is one of my postcard pockets. And then I have a tag that can be written on. I have put eyelets in my tags that are ivory colored because I like that finished look. Even if I don't put any yarn in it, it's finished looking. And I like that. And that tucks right in there. A little bit more stenciling. Here is a pocket that is created from one of the Fussy Cut images, the stamping stencil on the back of it, and 2 playing cards that I have added journaling space on the back. I thought those looked like they went well with the rest of the book. Here's another collage, and another with some tiny attacher staples there. Here's a top tuck that's made with silk and one of the quotes, and then it plays with this printed collage behind it along with this lace very well. This is a chamomile tea journaling card. I did a whole batch of these with some lace, and then on the back there's journaling space, and then I've edged it with lace. And this is one of the Fussy Cuts that you can cut out that's going to be in the kit, and I used one of the fancy edge shaped scissors, and I cut it out, and then I crumpled it up, and then I distressed it with some ink, and then I glued it on top of this lace, and then I just ran 2 rows of straight stitch along the top, and I think it looks gorgeous. And it just tucks right up in there. I like to do it like this so that the lace over here is over the quote page. And there's the end page of the second signature. And this bulldog clip is holding on to this final journaling card here. And I have stenciled over the top of it, and it's a tag with a twist, because you've got all this journaling space in the inside of it, and I think that it's beautiful. I like how that turned out. I will link the process video to that one, because I do already have that process video done and on my YouTube channel already. So I hope you enjoyed this flip through. Look for this journal to be in my shop. I need to add the ink pen, and I need to get pictures taken. But about the same time that you see this video, it should be available in my shop. And then to close, all you have to do is wrap this around. And I try to wrap it around so that I don't cover up the lock, but it doesn't seem to want to stay uncovered. And maybe that's because it's a diary and it wants to keep its secrets. Do you want it to keep your secrets? Look for it in the shop. If you have any questions, comments, you want to see how I did something in here, please leave them in the box below. And click that like icon if you liked the video. If you click thumbs down, would you at least leave a comment and tell me what it was that caused you to do that? Because I can't fix what I don't know is broken. And maybe it's nothing broken. Maybe it's just not your jam. Anyway, I thank you for joining me today. And I just want to remind you to be kind. Always. Bye.